It's Gorman in the morning with Fletcher and Ryder. Now, 92 KQRS.
Gorman in the morning, Minnesota's 92 KQRS. It is Friday morning. I'm in a good mood, and I am here with Fletcher.
Hey, happy National Movie Night.
Okay, then.
Yeah.
Also, Ryder.
All freaking day, dude.
Wow.
Happy Friday the 13th. It's the only one this year.
Hadn't even occurred to me.
You literally just said it's Friday, June 13th.
I know, but it didn't. But I said June, so instead of it didn't. Wow, and then just hearing those noises—that's all it takes. I'm immediately like, oh no,
Well, and like Ryder said, only one of the year, so live it up.
Oh man, fantastic!
Full advantage.
Yeah, right on. So it as it is Friday the 13th. I'm curious. What in the world is happening in the world? I'm feeling Minnesota. It's my way of asking Paul Fletcher to give me some damn headlines.
All right, then. Here we go. Just a quick reminder, 94 Minneapolis closed both directions, 35W to Huron Boulevard. Starts tonight. Maybe you know what I was thinking about it? Maybe take a detour through like Mankato to Albert Lee. That might be quicker.
That's fair.
A cyber attack on United Natural Foods, discovered late last week, has had a cascading effect on the company's grocery stores, which includes Cub Foods, as well as stores that rely on them for deliveries, which is Whole Foods, Kowalski's, Lunds and Byerly's, and more in Minnesota. Pharmacies were taken offline to combat the hack. They reportedly are back online as of late yesterday, but you can expect delays on food deliveries to cause some temporary inventory issues. So if your favorite thing isn't on the shelf, that could be why.
I was at Cub in West St. Paul on Tuesday, and the produce section was completely wiped out. I was trying to pick some stuff up. There was like almost nothing there.
Wow.
And I was like, they must be waiting on the truck. And then I got to Mom's, and she's like, it's that cyber attack.
Oh my!
Yeah.
Mom always knows what's up.
Yes, she does.
Mom's got her finger on the pulse of technology, for sure. Yeah. Speaking of fingers on the pulse of technology, for the first time, a brain implant has allowed a man to speak instantaneously and expressively, even sing. This is a significant advancement in brain-to-text systems. This patient has ALS. 5 years into symptoms, he underwent the surgery to implant a system known as BrainGate 2, and with this, he managed to translate neural signals into words in 10 milliseconds, which is 40 times faster than other brain-to-text systems.
Okay, then.
Damn.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hey, man.
I feel like if I suffered something like this, I'd end up being smarter than I am right now.
You think that brain gate would add points to the IQ? Is that what you're telling me?
Listen to that. It's ridiculous.
Wouldn't hurt.
Certainly.
Or you'd be, you or anybody, you'd be just as dumb but faster.
Yeah.
You'd say the wrong thing quicker.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I'm amazed by that. Good Lord. Oh my goodness. If this doesn't put a smile on your face, happy Friday. Mel Brooks and Amazon MGM Studios have released a teaser trailer for Spaceballs 2, announcing it's coming in 2027. The sequel will return Rick Moranis as Dark Helmet, along with original star Bill Pullman reprising his role as Lone Star, and Mel Brooks will reprise his role as Yogurt. Of course, his take on Yoda.
Yeah.
The trailer features a message from Mel Brooks, and here's a little taste.
After 40 years, we asked, what do the fans want? But instead, we're making this movie. May the Schwartz be with you.
All hail Mel Brooks.
98 years old, still just cranking them out.
Listen to him, though. He sounds great.
It's amazing.
98?
Incredible.
Incredible. Competitive eating. Joey Chestnut, the competitive eating legend, I should say, might be making a return to Nathan's 4th of July hot dog eating contest after sitting out last year due to a beef, no pun intended, over a sponsor.
You very much intended that pun, man.
Fair enough.
That was very intended.
Really? Wow.
Due to a beef over a sponsorship deal with Impossible Foods, he and Major League Eating are now in talks to have him return to the event. Fans are fired up, especially after seeing him recently devour a record-breaking 83 hot dogs in a Netflix showdown. This seriously might be on the same line as like Michael Jordan returning to basketball.
If you're a fan of Joey Chestnut, please walk into the ocean.
I like some Joey Jaws, but I thought he was tapping out after the big battle with Kobayashi.
No,
Man,
Joey Jaws will never stop, I don't think.
Should have gone out on top.
I can't believe I even know who these people are.
It's okay.
It's just awful. Just ridiculous. All right, speaking of ridiculous, the Minnesota Twins baseball team, they play right here in Minneapolis at Target Field. You're familiar with them. They were smacked right upside the backside yesterday by the Texas Rangers again.
Okay, I got home. I turned on the ball game at like 2. I heard Willie Castro hit a double. They're like, it's 13-2.
Yeah.
And I was like, yes, we've come back. This is the revenge game. Rangers. And I was like, what the?
16-3 your final score. The Twins have dropped 4 of the past 5 series they have played. In 3 games against Texas, they were outscored 34-13.
Good Lord.
It's kind of...
They're not very good either.
The starting rotation is a real concern right now. If there's something kind of cool about the Twins, it's that ESPN just announced they're going to have a Sunday night primetime game late June, the 29th, in Detroit against your Tigers.
They're going to get freaking beat by the Tigers. So, like...
It's the first time.
Prime time.
It's the first Twins marquee national game on TV. First time they've been the game of the week since 2020. So hey, that's nice.
I was going to guess like 1994.
Yeah, no.
They put this on display for the whole nation.
Come on, we got good solid 2 full weeks to turn it around before we get a Sunday night start.
Sure.
In the NHL last night, boy, if you went to bed early, you missed another scintillating Stanley Cup final game. The Edmonton Oilers equaled the series up at 2 games apiece. After the first period, they were down 3-0. They scored 3 of their own in the second period, then took a lead in the third, and with less than a minute, gave up the lead, go into overtime, and just a tremendous goal. Leon Draisaitl with just a one hand, holding the stick with one hand, holding the defender off with the other, throws it in. I mean, it's just one of those amazing road wins with, in overtime in a Stanley Cup final. There's just nothing quite like it. Amazing.
A great player making a great play. It's funny. I yesterday I predicted that they would tie up the series, and then before I went to bed, I texted you and said, "Well, my pick was terrible."
I love the photos midway through the third period when the Oilers took a 4-3 lead. All of the Panthers fans leaving the arena.
Yeah.
It's a Stanley Cup final, and you're leaving a game. I mean, and it wasn't like 6; it was hundreds of fans. And I'm just like, if I hadn't cut all my hair off, I'd pull it out.
Yeah.
You paid probably big bucks to be in those
so
seats.
Much
number
money.
1, number 2, your team's the Florida Panthers. You're giving up. What is wrong with you?
I realize there are other things to do in Miami. I mean,
sure, but
there's other stuff happening. But come on. Hey, Victoria. Why don't we just take a moment and tip our caps to Victoria, Minnesota?
Oh, yeah.
Lake country, baby.
It very much is.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful part of the world. Right on. The American Legion and Osseo last night. Thanks to everybody who turned up. Thanks to the Legion for welcoming us. That was a fine way to kick off a Thursday night.
With the roads, I can't believe that many people made it. And I don't think our boss is listening right now, but I was late. And it was all these freaking traffic.
That's
at
right.
one point, the GPS had me get off 94, drive on a frontage road, and get back on. Traffic was so bad.
A little crazy.
I can't believe people do this every freaking day. I was like, how are you listening to us on the radio and still driving through all of this chaos?
Well, it was
I am not built for this.
Strong effort on everyone's part, and man, it was a really nice hang. So
I loved it once I got there.
Yeah. So for everybody who came out, thank you so much. I had a nice sitting there for a little bit with Swanee and Teresa, just catching up, talking about golf. Put me in the mood. I found myself gripping clubs that I wasn't actually holding, the itch you get in your hands.
Have you been out this season yet?
No, I have not been out this season. I have a standing. I've committed myself. I'm going to be playing on Thursdays. That's my day to play.
Nice.
And I'm hoping that a week from yesterday will be the first of many rounds of golf throughout the summer.
Okay.
I love that.
That's the plan.
It was cool just to meet a lot of new people. And I had the same, not golf, but great conversation with those two. And Jackson from Maple Grove was out. We talked international travel, which was really cool. That dude lived in Italy for quite a while and lived in a castle, which is insane.
It was the photos were impressive. But we're going to be doing this again, hopefully a lot more often because man, that was fun.
And we'll make it to some different spots in the metro. So if you weren't able to come out last night, Craig from Bloomington came out. I was like, he drove at least twice as far as I did. Loved seeing him. Thank you so much to Carly from the American Legion and all of the meat spinners. You'll see a picture with us and the meat spinners.
That's right.
Yeah.
I made a bunch of new friends that you are going to hear a little bit later on Double or Nothing.
Nice.
About 7:30.
It's good
So
stuff.
there's that.
I have a feeling the next hang will be much closer to where Ryder lives.
Could be one of those weird coincidences that happens. Oh, and I have to give a shout out to Paula Baker. I think she'd hunt me down and put me in a chokehold if I didn't. Lovely catching up with you, Paula. It was a great night. Hey, listen, it is Friday the 13th, and it very well you may find yourself saying two things today. I'm not superstitious, and at the same time, I don't know, something weird happening out there. It's just kind of a buzz in the universe, if you will.
Michael Scott, in the American version of The Office, has a saying for this.
Which is?
I'm not superstitious, but I am a little stitious.
Okay, let's explain why that very well may be your experience in about 5 minutes and a couple songs.
Gorman in the morning. Coming right back. 92 KQRS. Streaming from 92KQRS.com. Gorman in the morning is back. 92 KQRS.
Gorman in the morning, Minnesota's 92 KQRS. It is Friday. It is Friday the 13th.
Yikes.
I was so slow on it.
Waiting for it. No. The buildup makes it that much more impactful. I don't think of myself as a superstitious person, like by the standard ones. Like you throw a hat on the bed, I don't care. Right. I had a black cat for years. I never cared which direction it was walking towards me.
Throw a hat on the bed?
That's like, you're not supposed to put a hat on the bed. That's a superstition. Salt over the shoulder. It's one of those.
Yeah.
All right.
It's like, there's all these things, break a mirror, whatever. None of that stuff. That said, I do tend to make connections. I see correlations and patterns and things, and I will think, like today, on my way to work this morning, I was thinking of someone I hadn't seen in years. And this is a friend of mine, and her favorite song ever is that song Laid by James.
Oh, nice.
And
okay.
Wow.
She was on my mind this morning, and we came in, and that's the first song we played. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, wow. And then you said it's Friday the 13th. And I was like, okay, it's not bad luck, but it was good. But I'm always wondering. I notice things like that.
Yeah.
So maybe on some level that's also just known as a coincidence. Or is it something more at play? Did me thinking of someone somehow get into the system and make that song show up when I didn't tell anyone I wanted to hear that song?
Are you in contact with this person? I feel like you should text him and tell him.
That's probably a good idea.
Yeah.
But It's kind of like, sometimes when I have dreams about people that I haven't seen in forever, I'll get in touch with them. It's just like, my subconscious, I think, is telling me, hey, get in touch.
Has anything bad ever happened, or have you ever prevented anything bad from happening?
Well, not that I'm aware of, because it didn't happen. So really,
right,
I think I'm preventing bad things happening all the time.
Yes.
So you're basically a superhero.
Yeah, it's kind of like the same logic that says the best criminals are the ones you've never heard of.
Yes.
See how that works?
Right. Mm-hmm.
But there is something in psychology. It's called illusory correlation, and this is when you make connections between unrelated things or events. And a lot of people, like me, who would say, I'm not superstitious, on Friday the 13th, you start doing things like you spill your coffee and you're like, oh, it's Friday the 13th. Of course that happened.
Yeah.
We all do these things, probably more than we want to admit.
I think illusory correlation is very much a real thing. Mm-hmm. The superstition, I think that it's two different things, though, don't you? I mean,
oh, sure. Well, I'm saying but today's a day when a lot of people will jump into that sort of thinking.
For sure.
Yeah.
I think that's a better explanation. I mean, I don't know I'm trying to word this.
Explain it a little bit more.
Yeah.
So why do I feel all creeped out today? Because usually I'm just sports superstitious.
Okay, well, but because there's a lot of people around. There's an energy on Friday the 13th. You can't get away from it. People talk about it. We make jokes about it. Everyone talks about their superstitions. And there is just just you hitting that sound effect. I mean, it's a silly thing from a silly movie. But if you were a teenager when that movie came out, like this guy, the first time you ever heard those sounds, it's like, that's bad. That just puts a chill up my spine, and it puts me on alert for the whole day.
The entire thing, though, is a man-made energy that we put. But is that the illusory correlation, though, or is that just us all? Oh, it's Friday the 13th, so we all need to observe the fact that it is, and then that creates the creepiness.
You can keep explaining it, but I'm not going to Crystal Lake today.
Probably for the best. For the best. I think that makes perfect sense. Do you guys have any actual superstitions? Not sports. We're all ridiculous with our sports superstitions. But is there anything that you actively think or do or process or avoid? Anything like that?
My wife has one. I don't know if it's a ritual or a superstition, but it's kind of both, I suppose.
Okay.
Every month, she sprinkles cinnamon out at the front door. It's supposed to bring prosperity and abundance and whatnot to the house. It's that manifesting stuff.
Really?
Yeah. She does without fail every month. And she'll even put it under her pillow at times.
Okay, then.
Yeah.
Where did this? I've never heard of such a thing.
Yeah, it's I hadn't heard of it either. But like not to get too deep into the weeds, but there have been some challenging spots in the Fletcher household over the last 5 years or so.
Of course.
And so I think it's something she sought out.
Okay.
Because she believes in that kind of witchcraft, cuckoo.
Looking for a little bit
crazy.
of... Yeah.
Yeah, just looking for a little positive voodoo or mojo.
Just playing the odds.
Yeah, for sure.
Are there crystals in your house?
No.
That you know about?
That you know of.
Not that I know of. Not that I know of.
I'm curious. 651-989-ROCK. Hit us on the text line. What superstitions do you actually buy into? Which superstitions do play a part in your daily life?
One other thing, though, I want to say, because you said I think we're all sports superstitious. I'm not. I will absolutely talk about a no-hitter during a no-hitter. I'll talk about a goalie having a shutout during I don't believe in that crap. So I'm like kind of the oddball when it comes to the sports superstitions.
How many times have you foiled a no-hitter then,
I was going to say, you're the guy.
You
probably
are the
never.
problem.
I'm going to guess somewhere in the neighborhood between never and never, ever.
I'm going to say there's one reason the Vikings have still never won a Super Bowl, and I'm staring him right in the face. It is Friday the 13th. Superstitions abound all around. One of my favorites is the old Russian superstition.
Which one's that?
Bird poop lands on you, if bird poop that lands on you or something that belongs to you will bring you wealth.
Ooh, like a car? I'm fine with it landing on a car and making me absolutely filthy rich.
Yeah, it's like if it hits you or something you own, wealth is right around the corner.
All right.
Does that mean that bird poop that landed, literally had one yesterday land on the hood, is that going to turn my car into a Lamborghini?
Well, I don't know if it's going to do that.
Ryder's shaking her head yes.
It's going to bring you wealth, and then you decide if that means a Lamborghini.
I just thought maybe it would turn the car into...
No, that's not what I said. I didn't say it's going to manifest changing, one physical property to another.
Okay.
But I think about how bad life has been in Russia for centuries, where they're getting crapped on so often that they turned it into a good sign.
Good for them.
Man.
That's brutal.
There's not enough pierogies in the world to make me feel better about things. If I'm waiting for a bird to crap on me to turn my fortunes around.
Absolutely.
Hey, Red sent in a text, pretty solid. He said he's got nothing on superstitious stuff because he doesn't want to jinx himself.
Yeah, well, that's a good point. That makes perfect sense. There's an old Canadian superstition that expectant mothers who are craving fish but decide not to eat fish will end up having a baby with a fish head.
No.
That's for sure going to happen.
That's got to be like Nova Scotia, Newfoundland.
Okay.
Canadian.
I think that's probably happened more than we realize. It's like Bigfoot where nobody can manage to get a picture of it.
The fish head baby?
Yeah, I think it's probably happened a bunch.
Man. Well, I mean, I wouldn't put it past those Nova Scotians. I mean, that's a different breed up there,
man.
They are
squirrely.
I do. This is one that I think makes a lot of sense. There's a Filipino superstition, a tradition that is called pag, and it says you never walk home. You never go straight home after leaving a wake. Or a funeral.
Okay.
You got to make a stop somewhere else first. A bad spirit could be tagging along and walk into your house. So after a period after mourning at a wake or a funeral, people swing by a store and pick up an item or two, or they drop by a restaurant, or they go somewhere other than home first.
You got to shake the tail. Shake it off,
Are you jinxing your favorite store then?
No, just going to a bad store, crappy store.
It's okay. No. It's just the spirits don't want it. It's just one of those things. You don't want to think about it too much.
Okay.
I think it's more just like I don't want to go home. I'm sad. So let me go see Fred behind the counter over at the market.
That's fair. I like this one. It's coming from Wisconsin, though. I used to be terrified of yellow lighters. I believe if you touch one, you have bad luck. I'm over that now. Thanks to the 715.
Wow, yes. Yellow lighters.
I
right
haven't
on.
heard that one.
I've never heard that one either. In Lithuania, you don't whistle indoors. That is believed to summon demons. No whistling indoors, which, by the way, I'd be totally down if we just passed that as law. You want to whistle? Go to a park
outside.
somewhere. Man, nothing. And that's I grew up with a big whistler, my dad, and so my brothers and I all to sort of make fun of him. We all would whistle all the time. But there's just too. When I hear people whistling, most people don't realize how tone deaf their whistles are. It's just there's a lot of problems. But generally speaking, when someone's whistling near me, I'm like, just give me a piece of aluminum foil and let me chew that while we're here. It's just rough.
Don't realize how tone deaf their whistles are. very discerning ears.
Hey man, it's a hornet's nest in here. Trust me. I mean, on this seemingly calm exterior, just trying to tamp down the volcano within. You know how that goes.
Yeah.
All right, we are checking out some dad jokes on the KQRS Facebook page, also the text line 651-989-ROCK, and these are just as horrible as I was hoping they'd be. Nothing like a bad dad joke. How about...
I like Tubby's.
Yeah, Tubby's is good on the text line. What did the shoes say to the suspenders? Sup, britches? It's pretty good.
So, Tubby.
By the way, I bumped into Tubby a couple days ago.
Oh, yeah?
He was on his bike. I was walking Chauncey, and first thing he said is, "See you on the cruise." So Tubby's going to be the crooner himself. Looking forward to that.
Yes. Yeah, get those tickets now, 92kqrs.com. Spoiler, my dad for Father's Day is getting boat cruise tickets. So
nice.
There we go.
It's a week from tonight, the boat cruise.
It is, yeah.
Holy smokes.
Yeah.
That came up quick, didn't it?
Certainly did.
So just out of the pandemic, during the pandemic, I was charged with dropping off the oldest at school.
Okay.
And I started a thing on TikTok. It was drop off dad jokes.
Okay.
So I've got an arsenal. Can I hit you guys with one?
Please.
Yeah, lay it on.
Why
us.
did the spider cross the road?
Why?
To get to the website.
Boy, that's just...
I got something for that. Oh, no, wait.
Okay. Ooh, boy.
Why do seagulls fly over the sea?
Oh, no.
Because if they flew over the bay, they'd be bagels.
Okay. All right. Moving on. We are ready to play a game called Double or Nothing, and it is for Pixies tickets. I said Thursday, but Ryder, you're telling me it's for the Friday night show.
Well, they're doubling down. They're doing 2 shows at the Palace.
Awesome.
Oh, nice.
All right. So we'll give you the Friday. That's for the weekend. It's even better.
I know.
Yeah. All right.
That's the one I'm going to.
We've got a few people on hold ready to play Double or Nothing. First up, Sierra from River Falls. Good morning, Sierra. Sierra, are you with us? Oh, boy.
Oh, no.
Ouch.
One more chance. Sierra, are you there?
I heard the car noise.
Yeah.
All right. We'll have to let her go.
Well, that's it. We got to move on. Let's go to the second caller, Cole from Minneapolis. Cole, are you with us? Cole.
Hi, this is Sierra.
Oh, it's Sierra.
Oh.
Wow.
All right.
All right. We got some wires crossed. All right, great.
Okay,
Sierra.
Yes.
Glad to have you. We thought we'd lost you. Okay, are you ready to play Double or Nothing?
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to ask you 5 questions. You answer them, and we'll see if we can match you up with a barfly from somewhere in town. Here's your first question, Sierra. What's the color you would paint your car if you wanted to make sure everyone sees it on a busy road?
Red.
Name a popular garnish for a Bloody Mary.
Pickle.
Besides pop, soda, if you will, what's something you pack in a cooler for a day on the boat?
Beer.
Name a famous trophy.
A famous what?
Trophy.
The famous trophy. The Oscars?
Okay, we'll take it. And last one. What time should kids be at home for the night during summer?
8 p.m.
8 p.m. All right, Sierra from River Falls. Well done. Ryder, who are we trying to match answers with?
So last night when we were hanging out at the Legion, I did a little double duty and grabbed some people to play this game and got to talk to Joe, whose favorite band is ZZ Top. And I'm like, why aren't you at the show, man?
Really?
But here are Joe's answers. What's a color you'd paint your car if you wanted to make sure everybody saw it on a busy road?
Red.
Name a popular garnish for a Bloody Mary.
Orange.
Then I made a really weird face at him. Besides pop, name something you pack in a cooler for a day on the boat.
Wine cooler.
Name a famous trophy.
Oscar.
At what time should children be at home for the night in summer?
11:30.
11:30. You're
7:30.
way nicer than my dad.
Wow.
No, he said 11:30.
Oh, 11:30. I thought he said 7:30.
Maybe he's got 22-year-old kids that still live at home.
Man, so you Sierra, well done. You got
Sierra.
2. I mean, I didn't see the Oscar coming. Both you guys went with the Oscar. Very well done. A red car and an Oscar means you got Pixies tickets.
Absolutely. Don't go anywhere.
Bam. Sit tight, Sierra. Don't hang up.
Okay, so in a Bloody Mary, he said an orange?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think Joe drinks a lot of Bloody. He had a drink with a bunch of limes in it. I don't think he does a lot of Bloody Marys.
No, it's
Doesn't
drinks
sound
with
like
limes and wine coolers, apparently. Wow. Has there ever been an orange in a Bloody Mary?
I don't know. You've been to Northern Tap House, they'll put a lot of weird stuff in there.
Yeah, they will.
We got another pair if we want to get to Cole.
Oh, yeah. I would love that. Is Cole still available? Cole, are you with us?
Yep.
All right, Cole, you ready to play Double or Nothing?
Yes, sir.
Let's do it. Here's your 5 questions, sir. Besides St. Paul, what's a city in Minnesota that starts with the word Saint?
St. Cloud.
All right, number 2. What's something people think causes bad luck?
Step on a crack.
Okay, how tall can grass be? How tall can grass be before it should get mowed?
4.5 inches.
4.5, I like it. All right, finish this phrase. Hot and blank.
What was that?
Finish this phrase. Hot and blank.
Cold.
All right, name a cartoon dog.
Cartoon dog. Snoopy.
Very well done. All right, sit
Okay.
tight for a quick second, Cole. Let's see how Ryder's Barfly does.
Yeah, we got to talk to my new friend Terry, who really liked to give me a hard time. Here are Terry's answers. Besides St. Paul, name a Minnesota city that starts with the word saint.
St. Peter.
What's something that generally causes bad luck?
Black cat.
How tall should grass be before it needs to get mowed?
4 inches.
Dawn is laughing at you. Does that seem right, Dawn? She's shaking her head. Okay. Finish the phrase, hot and...
Ready to go.
Name a cartoon dog.
Oh, Snoopy.
Snoopy. Well, Cole, you got one, which
Do
is...
we want to call an audible? It's a 4.5 was so close.
You know what? I had that thought.
And based on, Terry was with his partner, Dawn, based on the way she rolled her eyes when he said that, I bet that Terry lets his grass get to 4.5 inches.
All right, you know what? I like the override right there. Cole, you just won tickets, brother.
Wow, I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah, have a great time. Pixies in July. Go figure.
Terry with the
Sounds
legendary. Yes, congrats, Cole. Terry with the legendary answer, hot and ready to go.
Hot and ready to go, man.
Yes. That's what happens when you run into Terry at the Legion
What
in
is
Osseo.
happening? My God.
Everybody at the Legion in Osseo last night was having a good time.
Yeah,
Us
we were.
included. That was working for us. I like giving away two sets of tickets. Good to leave the people in a good mood, getting ready for the old Pixies gig.
Yeah.
I've never seen the Pixies. Missed them back
damn,
in the
really?
heyday. Yeah, never saw them.
I think worth it. I like him a lot.
Oh, I do too. I think it's high time I finally got to a gig.
Gorman in the morning. Coming right back. 92 KQRS. Streaming from 92KQRS.com. Gorman in the morning is back. 92 KQRS.
Gorman in the morning on Minnesota's 92 KQRS. It is Friday the 13th, Friday, June the 13th. Tonight and tomorrow night, 2 shows at Acme Comedy. Jackie Kashain. And Jackie is in studio with us because that is just the kind of pro you are. Getting up early, coming in and hanging out.
I'm here. It's Friday. I didn't realize it was Friday the 13th.
Sorry to drop that one on you
That's
like that.
it. Did you see the strawberry moon the other night?
I heard all about it.
I happened to see it coming
Did
back
you?
from the club on the Wednesday.
And how was it?
It was gorgeous.
Yeah?
Yeah, it looked very reddish, but they said that wasn't why.
Really?
Yeah, they said that's not why they call it the strawberry moon. I think it's because strawberries are in season. No, I have no idea.
Wow.
Strawberries are in season, you guys.
I missed it. I missed a lot at night. We get up early around here. And
I know. I don't. I just said strawberries are in season. So
Right, yeah.
stay tuned, you guys.
We are rolling. Next up,
Right on the date.
we were getting listeners have been sending in dad jokes in honors of Father's Day.
Aw.
And we've just heard some of the worst damn jokes imaginable. Just
Really?
classic dad bad jokes.
Right. But the thing is there's nothing. My dad, I was just with my dad, who's 88 years old, and they took away his car, like my brother did, like 6 months ago. So I was
Yeah.
visiting,
Oh, wow.
and I said, "Where do you want to go?" And he goes, "Anywhere outside of this apartment, please." And so we go to the bank and the grocery store and I think Goodwill and then Walmart, and every single one he made the same joke to the register lady,
yeah.
and it was we'd gone to the bank, and he said, It was something about money and branches and banks. It was so bad.
Yeah.
And he is funnier than that.
Right.
So the last time I'm at the register and the woman doesn't laugh. And the woman turns to me and she says, "Is this your father?" And I said, "Sure is."
Yeah.
And she goes, "Well, you cherish him. I just lost my dad." And I was like, "Well, that's very sad. Or was he great?"
Yeah.
And she said, "He was great. He was sweet and he was humble." And I looked back at my dad and I looked at her and I said, "We have different fathers."
Yeah.
And my dad goes, "What are you talking about? I have a lot of humility. It's one of my greatest assets." And I was like, "See, you can write. I don't understand why you're doing jokes, Dad."
Yeah, we had to get the keys away from my dad too. Back at one point, those were some dicey conversations.
Yeah, he doesn't want any part of it. Yeah, my father has turned into a geriatric moneylender with his extra cash now. He's
nice.
loaning money to people in their late 70s.
Yeah,
I think $20 at a time in Wisconsin, right?
And then sure. And then
the VIG on that. I don't know what the VIG is on that.
He's using words like VIG all of a sudden. It's like, Dad, a nice extra career.
Right, a little revenue stream for him. And I was like, and if people don't pay it, what are you going to do at 88?
Yeah, right.
Queensbury rules? What's going to happen, brother?
Maybe he's got people for that.
He does have people, but he better not be looking for people at 88. Leave him alone.
No, I mean, he's got people to collect.
No, I know.
Oh, okay.
My brother.
Jackie, how long have you been out west?
28 years. I've lived in California longer than I've lived anywhere in my life.
And so you started this whole thing, this life in Wisconsin, correct?
That's it, Madison,
Whereabouts?
Wisconsin.
In Madison.
I count the 80s as 1 year, unless somebody gets in my face, and then I tell them 84.
Okay.
Yes.
The 80s is 1 year. That's pretty good.
It seems about right. I was drunk for most of it.
Yeah, that's how that works.
Yeah, I opened for Kinison. That was the first.
Oh.
Actually, I did open for Kinison once, but Kinison was the first stand-up comedy I ever saw.
Okay.
I was in the audience, and I was 19, and he was on stage, and his brother, Bill Kinison, owned a club in Madison, Wisconsin. And I had never seen stand-up before, because as a child, we just listened to, like, Zig Ziglar and motivational speakers. My dad's a sales guy.
Okay.
And so he knows people. He does sadly know people. And so I heckled Sam Kinison. That was my first stand-up comedy experience.
I feel like that heckling gutsy to
Guess how that worked out? It didn't work out well. He mopped up the floor.
Him, yeah.
Well, later, because I would not shut up because I was so hammered. There's nothing worse, by the way, than a woman heckler, even if you are a woman comic.
Yeah.
Because for some reason the audience is still on the side of the heckler, and so management had to come over, tell me to shut up, and a couple of times. The third time the guy came over, he said, "Open mic is on Sunday." And then 3 weeks later, I came back and did open mic.
There it was.
Nice.
And it was like falling into a vat of what I assume is what falling into a vat of heroin is like. Because I fell in love.
Yeah.
And I did it every day for 8 months, and I got a 1.8 that semester.
Yeah, that's how that works. So, first time you're yapping in a club, you're heckling someone, you're just hammered. 3 weeks later, you go to an open night. Hammered that night as well?
No. I came. 2 weeks later, I came and I got scared, so I started drinking before I went up, and then I didn't go up because I was like, I don't want to do this. Drunk.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Because they're only gonna if everyone, and I know everyone does want to do stand-up comedy.
Yeah.
Know in your heart they're only gonna give you 3 minutes.
Yep.
And so just come up with 3 ideas that you think are funny. Go on stage, say those 3 things, get off stage.
I would imagine a lot of people early on, they think, a couple drinks will be fine. No big deal. Because you have all that adrenaline. But the minute that adrenaline goes, then you're just a drunk guy with a microphone.
Yeah, then you're just loopy and trying to remember what you thought was funny.
Yeah.
So it's only 3 minutes. You can stay sober until after the 3 minutes.
Yeah.
And then knock yourself out.
So how are you now? You are you're doing many weeks a year. Most of the year you're on the road.
Most of the year.
And you've been doing this now 20, 30 years, or how many years?
1,000 years.
1,000 years.
40, I guess. 42.
And so what's the pre-show protocol? Is there a routine? Is there a vibe? Is there anything? Do you have your little things you just do?
I look at my set list, and then while other people are up, I do laps. So I walk around the club is what I do, and then I go on stage. So it's not really, there's nothing there. I'm just sort of just running, looking at the set list.
Yeah.
And the set list is just bullet points. I don't know, you guys have seen band set lists.
Of course.
It's like that. And as I get older, by the way, I'm more and more interested in having that set list on the stage.
Oh, really?
Yeah, just on the ground. Giant Sharpie.
Yep.
Just go, oh, flowers.
Yeah.
Let me talk to you about flowers, you guys.
Yeah.
It's because as we get older, we're not as reticent to just forget. You know what I mean? Like if you were younger, you'd be like, whatever, I'll wing it. Now you're like, no, I want to get it right. That's what I'm thinking, right?
I wrote some jokes. You're going to want to hear them, audience members.
Yeah.
So if I have to look at a piece of paper eventually here, it'll be fine. You'll get over it.
Yeah.
You will laugh because I remembered the jokes.
How many years in before you had that sense, or maybe it was weeks or months, where you went, okay, I this is actually going to work? I mean, you could see the path opened up, if you will. Like, and not even like your performance, but just I'm going to continually come up with content,
right.
with stuff. That's what I always wonder about. I know as musicians, as songwriters, the more you write, the more you can write. And I know it's the same with comedy, but it does seem impossible to imagine I'm going to keep having new material year in and year out. So that's a long-winded question, but how long were you doing this on a regular basis before you truly went, I see it. I see where I'm going with this.
You know what? It's weird. The first time I think I realized that I was writing material was when about 6 months in, because remember I was doing stand-up probably 5 to 7 days a week.
Right.
And when I first started doing stand-up. And the manager, that same manager of the club, I was now a regular. And because it was Madison, Wisconsin. In 1984, there were 7 comedians.
Right, got it.
So I was the only woman, and so I got up, and I could do 5 to 10 minutes, and it was invaluable experience. But by the end, by 5 or 6 months, the manager, I had written a bit, and he actually came up to me and he said, "That's your first signature bit right there. That's a bit that actually people are going to remember." That's that woman who did that bit.
Yeah.
And it was, you look back at it and you're just like, well, that was that joke.
Yeah, right.
So it was a flyer about campus safety.
Okay.
And I just made fun of it. So I would read it aloud from the flyer, and then I would make fun of it, and it was like probably a minute and a half or 2 minutes of that. What I would recommend as you go forward, you don't actually need to bring the paperwork on stage. You can just memorize it and wing it. Very much, you just go, close enough.
Yeah, that works. The little things you learn along the way.
Yeah.
How often do you find yourself? You're in clubs all the time. You have openers. A lot of them, I think, usually local persons up there. Do you still feel like, are the kids all right? Are you seeing young talent where you're like, man, the pool is deep?
We have been in some sort of weird comedy boom since. Okay, so it happens actually. What I've noticed, and this is obviously just me. So in about 99. There was the alt scene, 97 to 99, like Janine Garofalo, Paul F. Tompkins, Karen Kilgariff, 1,000 others, Patton Oswalt, Blank Patch, Greg Barron. I don't want to forget people. Margaret Cho, stop talking. Anyway, so, and then, like, probably 5 years after that, there was another kind of, it was what I call the bearded youth movement. It was right after 9/11.
Okay.
And for some reason, every 25 to 30-year-old male comic was like, "Is this what you're afraid of?" And so they all grew beards.
Pointing at their beard.
Pointing at their beards. And but they were also writing kind of amazing stand-up. So like Kyle Kinane and Matt Bronger and Zach Galifianakis and just like there was like this generation. And and then about 5 years after that, then there was like a huge, like, after 2003, it was probably 2006, I was like, there was Beth Stelling and Nikki Glazer and even Eliza Schlesinger, and like there was a lot of like younger women comics that were blowing up, and their stuff was all really interesting, and a lot more personal. Like when I came up, I wasn't. They're like, don't talk about your bodily functions. You're a lady.
Yeah, right.
And I'm like,
yeah.
I don't think I'm a lady. I think I'm just a person.
Yeah.
And I'm a comic, and I have bodily functions. And boys are talking about their bodily anyway.
And those things are oddly relatable to everyone.
Right. And everybody has bodily functions.
Yes, they do.
So these, I mean, yes. So the longest answer in the world is every 6 months, I would say, I meet 4 comics in LA where I'm like, who are you? Why do I not know who you are?
Great.
And they're like, I don't know who you are.
Yeah.
And I was like, point taken.
Is it a matter of just like, I just wonder if is it so saturated that there are
because
so
of the
many
numbers?
Because there are so many funny people, it's maybe there's just not room enough for all of them to blow up. I mean, I don't know.
For
an
sure.
embarrassment of riches, if you will.
For sure, because think about when I think about Los Angeles. One year when I first moved there, I was at I did some sort of corporate downtown LA at some fancy club, and it was like you weren't allowed to use your cell phone in the lobby. They're like, we don't need to see it.
Okay.
And but there was an a cappella group. Christmas. It was Christmas time. When I walked in, there was 4 people dressed in Victorian garb, singing Christmas songs, and they were glorious. I was like, you guys have amazing. Why aren't you famous?
Yeah.
And they're like, who are you? You're not famous. Anyway, I was like, Los Angeles is full of so many, there's so many people who are really good at it. And which is why we create jobs, right? Which is why Pilates was invented. Which is why life coaching was invented.
That's exactly right.
Everybody is just like, we're going to create something out of whole cloth so that I can continue to live here.
That poor Joseph Pilates, that was his name, German guy, comes up with the whole thing, and he's just like, I just want people to be healthy and have a good tight core, and then down the decades later, it's like LA, it's like glow classes and glitter Pilates and all this. He's just spinning in his grave going, this was not the point at all.
I actually go to Pilates now but I go to a physical therapy Pilates. I could not recommend it more.
Yeah, it's great.
It is
I've
amazing.
Done it. It's amazing. It is.
I recommend, if you can afford it, at least 3 or 5 one-on-ones so you understand what the heck you're doing.
Yeah.
And then classes. But because otherwise you might, because it's tiny movements but super intense.
Yeah, no, it's fantastic. Jackie Kashin's at Acme tonight and tomorrow night, 2 shows. First concert you ever saw?
Oh gosh, Heart.
As was mine.
Oh, there you go.
1978, I saw Heart, my first gig.
That.
Excellent. I think it was probably 1980.
All right.
Yeah.
In Madison?
Milwaukee.
In Milwaukee.
That's it. I went with my friend Karen Baldwin, my only friend from high school who wanted to go see music.
Yeah.
We went with 2 boys we did not know.
Wow,
we had a
That's
6-pack.
trouble.
We were 16. I always said 81. And
that's awesome.
we had a 6-pack, and I was like, well, this isn't going to be enough beer for all of us. I am from Wisconsin.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, as
awesome.
a dad of 2 daughters that are still young, you talking
Did I just
about going
terrify you?
going to a concert with boys I didn't know. Oh my God,
And it
that's
turns out they
terrifying.
weren't monsters.
Oh, good.
Because, yes, 98%, my theory.
Here's the funny thing about teenage boys that girls need to learn. They're more afraid of you than you are of them.
That's true.
Everybody's afraid.
Yeah,
is
everybody's a little twitchy.
That's it.
And most people are decent. Everybody remember this.
Yeah.
2% of the world's broken, and there's more of us.
Yeah.
That's
Way
Get
more.
out there.
That's absolutely
Be nice.
true. For sure.
Jackie, it is a pleasure to see you.
Good to see you too, man.
Always welcome. Go see Jackie at Acme tonight and tomorrow night. You've played Acme, 975,000 times? And
Exactly.
it's a great place to call home.
My favorite place.
Yeah, it is.
All right, thanks.
92 KQRS.
Gorman in the morning, Minnesota's 92 KQRS. Good Friday morning, Friday, June the 13th. Oh, my. The only Friday the 13th we have this year. The only time Ryder will be able to hit that button and freak us out throughout the morning.
That's right.
I'm maximizing it.
Yeah, damn straight you are. I'm feeling Minnesota. Let's get into some headlines.
2025 Food Truck Extravaganza is returning with more than 40 food trucks gathering at the Washington County Fairgrounds in Lake Elmo. That's going on tomorrow. They have live music. They got a kid zone if you got to bring the kiddos along. Food from Matt's Bar. Prana Pup people will be out there. KCM Egg Roll. And it's all for a good cause. So,
Very nice.
yeah, That's a good way to fill your belly right there. An Air India plane headed from India to London crashed yesterday shortly after takeoff. There were 242 people on board, and just one survived, which it's amazing that one person survived. But kind of with it being Friday the 13th, this whole thing was creepy. Someone says they were on that plane's previous flight a few hours before, and they actually posted a video. Here's a clip.
We are almost about to taxi. AC is not working. And as usual, your TV screens are also not working. Neither this button for calling the cabin crew. Nothing is working. Nothing. Not even the light is working.
Yeah, says AC is not working, TV screen's not working, the light is not working. So just, a bunch of weird things.
Whether any of those things have anything to do with a plane going down remains to be seen. But very coincidental that a guy from the exact same plane decided to go to social media and post a video of how all of the little things on that plane were giving him pause.
Yeah.
I still haven't seen. The plane hit a dormitory, a residence where a lot of medical students lived, and I haven't seen how many people on the ground were killed. We know it's 240 from the plane. I think they're still trying to figure out the whole total.
More from that, and the video is just
really it's horrifying.
Yeah.
It really. It looks like a Jerry Bruckheimer film or something like that.
It's awful.
Crazy,
tragic.
The Rolling Stones are working on a new album after canceling a summer tour. I suppose they just can't sit still. They're going to go in the studio. And Mick, Keith, Ronnie were recording 13 songs. The new record would be the band's 25th studio album. They've been working with producer Andrew Watt and new drummer Steve Jordan on the new album. No release date set as of yet, though.
Hackney Diamonds was a very nice surprise. Solid album.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Very good record.
I haven't listened to it.
The tune with Lady Gaga, Sweet Sounds of Heaven. Oh, man. That's as good as Mick Jagger's ever sung in his life.
They really got all the money out of their fans doing those stadium baseball reissues, too. Like Jim, one of our promo guy, has the Twins one. But, yeah, there's like a stadium version of the album that has your baseball team on it, too.
Yeah. Never really ones to miss out on a marketing ploy, the Rolling Stones.
Absolutely not. Hey, while most NFL teams are dealing with preseason minicamp practices, the money right now is being placed on Super Bowl halftime show and who's going to play it. Chapel Roan is the early leader, giving her 4-1 odds. She's taking 20% of the money. Miley Cyrus is a close second at 5-1, and then in third, Oasis on the money.
That is $0 on that bet.
Yeah, no, that's not a chance in the world that they're going to put that together.
If the odds are right, you still put $10 down. That's just a life lesson.
Yeah, I think Chapel Roan. I'm surprised that she's the clubhouse leader right now. She hasn't been nearly around long enough. I wouldn't think. If it were me, I would simply say, "Hey, Lady Gaga and Bruno Mars, you guys do it every year." That's the two. That guy's amazing, and she's great. Her show. They can do no wrong. It's like, I'm not my style of music necessarily, not artists I follow, but for a 12-minute thing like that, every time I see either of them, I'm like, that's some talent.
I'm still holding out for Metallica.
I'm surprised they haven't, honestly.
I know, because they've done shows. Super Bowl has been in San Francisco. It seemed like an easy one.
It does. You know what? Now that you say it out loud, it does seem like an easy one. If it was in the pop world, maybe just combine all the really good pop singers, you know what I mean?
If Chapel Roan does this, there's going to be a ton of special surprise guests, I imagine.
Yeah, get like Olivia Rodrigo out there with her, Sabrina Carpenter, stuff like that. And that's one route you could take it. That's what I got.
Let's talk about the fact that the Vikings will be playing in that Super Bowl. I said it. I called my shot early.
Superstitious much?
I just wanted to see Ryder's face light up like a Christmas tree.
You should be very happy, Ryder, because he's now totally jinxed them, and that should give your Lions an easier path.
Ooh, baby.
There we go.
How about your Minnesota Twins? That 13-game winning streak last month feels like a fever dream, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yesterday, they were, what's the word? Hammered. Bitch slapped by the Texas Rangers, 16-3 at Target Field. Bailey Ober gave up a home run on his second pitch of the game. That was pretty much all you needed to see. It just went downhill very, very quickly. In a 3-game series with the Rangers, the Twins were outscored 34-13. That, my friends, is not what we would call winning baseball.
No.
They're in Houston for the weekend. Let's hope they get something going. Their starting staff is just all beat up. A lot of aches and pains right there. And let's talk hockey quickly. The Edmonton Oilers won a scintillating overtime game last night to tie the Stanley Cup Finals 2 games apiece. What a series that is so far. 1 blowout, but 3 games all in extra periods. One of those games went to a double overtime. This is an absolute Donnybrook. These 2 teams, I'd be shocked if it didn't go 7. Game 4 of the NBA Finals is tonight in Indianapolis. The Thunder need to get off their asses and win this game. They've been shocked by the Pacers so far to have dropped 2 out of 3. We'll see what happens. While we're here, let's take a quick moment and give a shout out to St. Francis, shall we?
Hell yeah, St. Francis.
Come on, St. Frank. Thinking of you. Come on, the chairman of the board, St. Francis.
Yeah. Old blue eyes.
I don't know why, but St. Frank got me. I like St. Frank.
That's good.
Gorman in the morning. Coming right back. 92 KQRS. Streaming from 92KQRS.com. Gorman in the morning is back. 92 KQRS.
Gorman in the morning, Minnesota's 92 KQRS. I just mentioned the KQ Karaoke Cruise a week from tonight, Friday, June 20th.
Yeah, I took a look at the extended forecast. If it holds, it's thunderstorms in the morning on Friday, sun, 80s when we're cruising down the river.
Nice. That'll work.
Mother Nature's in favor of karaoke. Definitely going to clear the way. There's no doubt in my mind.
We got a Father's Day weekend special that starts at noon today. You can pick up tickets for $20.
Whoa.
Yeah. Oh, go to 92KQRS.com and pick up those tickets. Why don't you? We weren't able to keep a man on the horn, but he called in and shared a joke with us, a rock dad joke for the day.
Okay.
What's the difference between Mick Jagger and a Scotsman?
No
What
clue.
is it?
Jagger says, "Hey, you get off of my cloud." The Scotsman says, "Hey, my cloud, get off of my you."
Wow.
I didn't know that we were going to say that one out loud.
Yeah, come on, that's good stuff.
Thanks, Alan.
I have a joke about how a Welshman counts sheep, but it's a visual, so I can't use it for the radio.
Okay, well, I can ask you this. What do you call a fish with no eyes? A fish.
Oh, I see what you did there. All right, you know what? It is Friday, and it's time that we dial up a little something we call a bargument.
Oh, boy.
As we like to say, a bargument meaning you've had 2 or 3 drinks, and then you get into a little bit of an argument, and you can maintain enough lucid thought to state your case and stick to it.
Okay.
Today's bargument: you're being charged by a wild boar.
Uh-oh.
You got to choose one weapon:
boy.
sword or crossbow.
I don't get a firearm?
Those are the only 2
Sword
choices?
or crossbow.
Okay.
I got to go sword on this one. Because
sword?
Yeah.
Okay.
Really? Because I want multiple attempts. If I miss with the crossbow, it's going to take that. Like I'm mauled before I can reload the thing. Unless it's a semi-automatic crossbow.
Ryder, you seem to be thinking crossbow?
Well, I have really crappy aim, so I probably need to take the sword, but I think most other people should be taking the crossbow. You know, get him right between the eyes, one and done. He's charging. Right. He's coming right at you. It's going to be hard not to miss.
Way too much pressure, though. What if I do miss?
Yeah.
I want multiple shots at the head.
I'm thinking sword just so I can. It's easier to end my own life with the sword than the crossbow. Because this thing's going to get its first shot at me, and I'm going to be like, oh, this hurts too much. I'm out of here.
You're just going to...
yeah. No, my first thought was the sword, too. I just get that good grip on there. It's going to be... You're going to get a lot closer. That's close contact. With the crossbow, you can maybe... I don't know how far is he charging from, I guess.
I think swords are heavier than people think.
They are.
Yeah.
So...
Very true.
Okay, you know what? You convinced me. I'll go crossbow. You get it.
Okay.
Get it. It's wait until the last second. Then you can't miss, right?
Yes.
And if it's...
Don't shoot till you see the whites of its eyes.
And if the tension is right on the crossbow and you get him right between the eyes, you know what? You convinced me. I'll change my argument.
I've always thought that, if a big animal's charging me, I'm going to just take my left arm and try to shove it right down his throat. They open the mouth and you just get it, assuming he doesn't bite like right when your hand enters his mouth and then it's stuck. But if you can just get past that first bite and get your hand all the way down his throat, he's going to choke. He's going to spit you out.
Survival tips.
Yeah. That's the kind of survival tip.
Thanks, Steve Corey.
Yeah, that's not one of those things that'll ever really work, but I'm just convinced it will.
I'm convinced that in that situation, I scream like a little girl and look for something to jump on top of.
I think I would. I'm sticking with sword. I would hold it straight out, and if it's charging me, he'll just run into the sword.
Yeah,
That's
like
what
jousting.
I'm thinking.
Okay.
Exactly.
Yes.
It's a bit of a joust.
Okay.
651-989-ROCK. What would you go with? Here's what you do. Text sword, just the word sword, or just the word crossbow. And they'll hit there, and we'll see how off base all of us are really around here. I think that's probably exactly what that'll be. We're talking about boar attacks, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, what else would we be discussing?
It's Friday. Why not?
It's Friday. The bargain is if a boar is charging you, a wild boar, and you have a choice of two weapons, a crossbow or a sword, which one are you going to go with?
I think the answer was pretty clear.
The poll's pretty clear. 87% say sword. Yeah. Pick that bad boy up and get your Game of Thrones freak on.
You know what? I was set on sword right out of the gate, but then when Ryder said, I think they're heavier than most people realize, she's totally right. I'm just afraid, honestly, that either weapon I'd end up just hurting myself.
That's
then
absolutely
the boar may
true.
not be interested in you anymore.
Yeah.
That's very true.
Although it might also see, easy meal.
What's the rule for the boar? You just curl up in a ball and cry, right? And then he kills you slowly? Is that how that works?
Yeah, I think maybe you shout swear words at him. I don't know either.
Something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't need to find out the answer to any of that. This text just came in. I see the headline now. After wild animal attack, one-armed drummer Steve Gorman continues to play.
Yeah.
Heads up, no, he won't. You take away one of my arms, I'm done. I don't. That's not.
You're not Def Lepparding this thing?
Hell no.
Ugh.
What are you kidding? That's the universe telling me you've drummed
You're
enough.
done.
Save what little is left of your hearing and get on with your life. That's exactly what that would be telling me. All right, here's the last word.
May I sneak in a second to the last word real quick?
Please do.
Happy Father's Day to you both. My brief encounters with both of your kids show that you've put some stellar offspring out into the world. I hope they fill your weekend with the one thing my dad always wanted for Father's Day: peace and quiet.
Oh.
Enjoy, gentlemen.
Thank you, love. That's really nice.
Of course.
That was very sweet. Thank you.
Switching gears to my last word.
Good luck now, buddy.
No. I'm going to say this. It's just a reminder for everybody. If you're ever worried about a situation and you feel like you might be asking what's going to be a stupid question, you don't want to embarrass yourself in front of others, I'm here to tell you, fire away. Just ask it. And just remember, NASA engineers, some of the smartest people that have ever lived.
Of course.
NASA engineers asked Sally Ride, the first American woman ever in space, if 100 tampons were enough for a 7-day mission. That's a true story. So just remember, you're never going to ask a question that stupid. Let her rip.
There's a lot of dudes saying, well, is 100 tampons enough for a 7-day mission?
Unbelievable.
I've been married long enough to say that's more than enough.
So Monday on Gorman in the Morning, we are going to announce KQ's Father of the Year.
Yeah.
Neither one of us is eligible,
Not
of course.
eligible.
That's listener-fueled content is what they call that behind the scenes. What's happening next, Fletcher? Or as Def Leppard would say, Fletcher?
Love is like a bomb. What can I say? I'll tell you what, 11:45-ish, going to go commercial-free as we do, and 1:30, KQ Karaoke Cruise.
Nice.
I got the tickets. Listen for the text keyword. I mean, we're a week away.
Yeah.
Now is the time to solidify your tickets if you don't have them already.
Sounds like a plan. Minnesota's 92, KQRS.